Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel and Reddit Soccer. This is episode 5 where we take a look at the best bits that have been put on the back page of the internet. That is the Reddit Soccer stream page, and we're not going to mess about, we're going to get straight into it. Or are we? First things first, hit the subscribe button. Yes, see what I did there? Go, oh, they're going to, oh, wicked, he's going to get straight. No, bang. Subscribe. Cheers. Notification bells as well. I said it last time. I know, it's probably too long a plug now, but I mean, Gareth Bale. Let's talk about Gareth Bale. Real Madrid lose patience with Gareth Bale and issue an ultimatum. The Welsh winger refuses to abandon the club, and Madrid have now threatened to leave him on the stands for a season. Gareth Bale's career at Real Madrid has been so up and down. He stepped up for them time and again in those big games, but at the same time, of course, he's had those injuries. That said, this story is suggesting that he's on an unwanted list. I find this funny to kick off. The Zidane's made this sort of naughty list that the Real Madrid hierarchy have now got to get rid of, and that Gareth Bale is on it. What makes it even more hilarious, if you're not a Real Madrid fan, he's got a new deal that carries on till 2022, and in the entirety of that deal he's making 150 million. That's 600k a week before tax. After tax is about 350k a week. So of course he's at one of the best clubs in the world. He still thinks he's one of the best players in the world, so he wants to stay there and stick it out, and at the very least he wants to make sure that he gets the same kind of wages in what is the last big deal of his career. What I've seen a lot on the internet, on YouTube, on Twitter, is people digging out Gareth Bale for this. Now, I just don't know how you can question Gareth Bale's character, in my opinion. Whenever he's stepped up and played for Wales, and when he's been brave enough in his career to make big moves, first of all Spurs, where it didn't go well to start with, he had the strength of character to turn it around there. Then he was brave enough to go to Real Madrid. He could have stayed at Spurs, he could have gone to Man United, and he still might go to Man United. That might be an option for him. But he's made brave choices, and when it comes to Wales, he's never shirked the responsibility of being the main man there. And I just don't know how you can have a go at his character. If he's not playing, if he's getting phased out, then you're going to play a bit of golf. But it turns out that Zidane, and it's always been frosty between those two, but of course Zidane left before, but now he's on this unwanted list. They've got Hazard, Vinicius, they're looking to get Eriksen, they're looking to get Paul Pogba, more of that in a second. They've got Asensio, they've got Benzema, they've got a lot of players in those areas of the pitch, so bizarrely they don't need him. The reason why this is such a difficult situation for both parties, and also a reason why he may still sit out pretty much the whole of the season, and let's be honest, if that happens and he's fit, they want 80 million quid for a 29-year-old. That's a lot of money in itself. But then any team that had the money to spend to offer someone 80 million, they're then going to have to go on top of that and pay his wages, because Gareth Bale, understandably, with a family and the last big contract of his career, doesn't want to lose his wages. You'll see it go the other way. You've seen it with Alexis Sanchez. But for him to take a pay cut, that's something that I think just gets thrown at players that they're expected to do. But actually, it's something that we're going to see a hell of a lot more. We're seeing it with Alexis Sanchez. We're seeing it with Mesut Ozil. Why would you leave these places if you get yourself a contract? And it's player power, but it's being savvy with it. The bottom line is this would be such a huge waste for a player who has been so magical throughout his career when he's not been injured. I understand that. So I hope this is one that gets resolved. And with him stuck on the sidelines, being ostracised from the group, he's not even going to know when the Madrid games are on. He'll have to be notified. Speaking of notifications, why not hit that bell? Hit it right now. Last video, I said we were on 9%. 9% of my subscribers. Now we're at 10.7%. And here is something that I will offer you in return. If I can get the amount of subscribers that I've got to hit the notification bell, if I can get 20% of you guys to do that, I will do a forfeit of your choice. So next Reddit Soccer video, we'll talk about it. We'll see if we're at 20%. We're currently at 10.7%. But if we get to 20%, then you guys can let me know in the comments what you would like me to do, and I will do that for you, because that's only right. So the Spanish journalist Sergio Valentin said this: Manchester agree to open negotiations with Real Madrid about Pogba. Optimism grows at Real Madrid. Manchester United agrees to negotiate for Pogba. Now, with the amount of money that is in football right now, and all the permutations about having homegrown players and all those kind of things, and then these long contracts with these huge wages and then financial fair play, what I'm starting to see, what I believe is going to happen, is that actually those swap deals that we saw way back when, which became redundant because agents weren't making any money out of it, I think they're going to come back a little bit, because ultimately clubs are needing to trade and be very clever with what they're doing because they don't have unlimited budget, but the deals are so big. Now, Paul Pogba, I wonder if that could be a way for Man United and Real Madrid to get something that they want. I understand Man United fans would be very, very wary about doing something like this because of Alexis Sanchez. And I understand those frustrations, but Gareth Bale needs to get out of there. He wants to get out of there, and I tell you what, he'll want to prove a point as well. Paul Pogba has made it quite clear that he doesn't want to play for Man United anymore, and I actually believe that Man United can be a better team if they use those funds from a Paul Pogba sale to be a much better team without him than with him. Because I think he is such a lightning rod for criticism. I think he is such a leader on the pitch in terms of someone that people look to, but I don't feel like he delivers like Frank Lampard, like Steven Gerrard, like those players have, like those lightning rod players do. And so because of that, I actually think he can cause a bit of problems at times, especially when it goes wrong. And we saw that, and we've seen that in the last few seasons, as talented as he is. And so I wonder if you were able to move him out, you would see an uplift in the other players because they would need to step up for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it's not a straight swap deal, of course it's not. But is there a deal to be done where you would swap Gareth Bale for Paul Pogba? If there is, let me know in the comments below. What would it be? What would need to happen? What kind of money exchange would need to happen for Gareth Bale and Paul Pogba to make the swap? Steven Gerrard rejects Mike Ashley's approach to become next Newcastle manager. That was popped up on Reddit Soccer, and initially you think it's a bit of trolling, but the Mirror did report that this actually happened. That Mike Ashley thought he had a chance. And as I read that article, 3 lines back to back led my inner monologue to the same phrase each time. So there are the basic elements of the article where he suggests that he's gone for him. Then they need to dive deeper a little bit. And these 3 lines were just hilarious. But the Sports Direct magnate has known from the offset that the chances of luring Liverpool legend Gerrard to Tyneside was slim. Oh really? He was still prepared to try, and alerted Gerrard's representatives to the possibility of a quick return to the Premier League. Oh really? But Gerrard has only been at Ibrox 12 months, and any departure this summer wouldn't be welcomed by the Rangers fans. Oh really? Now Steven Gerrard is not going to go to Newcastle. He's too principled. He wouldn't do it. There's no point really. And it does fascinate me who is going to take that job in the end. Is it going to be some young guy who's just looking for an opportunity? Or is it going to be one of those older heads who yeah, okay, I've wasted a few opportunities. This is still kind of a big club I can get on my CV. And if it doesn't work out, I can still get another job after that. Claudio Ranieri. But what it does lead me on to is Steven Gerrard's career. We've just seen Frank Lampard go into that Chelsea job. Look, that Liverpool job's not going to arrive anytime soon. And his time at Rangers, he's started to build something that's really exciting. He's got them moving in the right direction. But how long will he stick around there? How long will he continue to do it? He's starting to build a team that is ready to stop that 10 in a row for Celtic. But can he do it? For me, I wonder, Steven Gerrard is so ambitious. Is this season the last chance for Rangers fans to see him lift a trophy at Ibrox? Would he stay there for the next 2 years to get the job done? Or if he can get them really close this season and all goes well, would he do a Brendan Rodgers and go and take that leap for his career? What would be the right call for Steven Gerrard? Let me know in the comments below. Brazil won the Copa America again. 3-1. They beat Peru. Well done, Peru, for getting to the final in what was the most bizarre format ever. And Dani Alves, what a player. 36 years old. He is now the most decorated player in the history of the game. 40 trophies. And since kicking off at Sevilla, where he won a few trophies there, he won 2 UEFA Cups, the UEFA Super Cup, the Copa del Rey and the Super Copa. He's then been at Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, and of course playing for Brazil in these tournaments. And he also won the most valuable player for the tournament as well. But when you look at him, you just think, wow, he loves the game. But then if you really look into it, of course he loves the game. Can you imagine? Can you imagine anyone who wins that many trophies not loving the game? But with that, maybe it's the QPR fan in me. There's a tiny bit of me that's like, what's he really like? What's he really like when it's, when the chips are down, when life gets a little bit tough? And then I saw this on Reddit Soccer, that this week 5 years ago, Brazil lost 7-1 in a World Cup semi-final to Germany in their own country. It is still shocking when you think about that game. 7-1. Germany were 5-0 up in 29 minutes. They totally fell apart. And then I thought, yes! I mean, I like Dani Alves, but then there's this new thing where I'm like, ooh, has he ever played for a team that's rubbish? Then I thought, Brazil, 7-1, result, look at the lineup, he's not playing. He was on the bench. But going back to that game, Brazil had more shots than Germany in that game. But they lost 7. There's no other way of analysing it. All you can do is say 7-1. The biggest shock in terms of watching football I've probably had in my lifetime watching football. Stomps all over anything that's happened at QPR, and we've lost a lot of games. 7-1 they lost. It was absolutely incredible. Of course, Neymar was out of the game. Thiago Silva was out of the game as well. David Luiz had to go and play on the left-hand side, and then Dante came in as well, and it all just capitulated. And people were saying in the comments that there was a blackout theory. The fact that the Brazilians were under so much pressure, so much was expected of them. They were so emotional in the national anthems, lots of them crying, that it just got way too much. That alongside the little changes that had to happen. But 7-1. There's no way of spinning that. I thought. But they did score one, didn't they? Oscar is probably the only person who can spin it. Because he can say that he scored in the last minute of a World Cup semi-final. You just got to hope that they don't ask questions after that. In the Copa America, Everton's Richarlison got himself a goal, and he dedicated it to someone very, very special. Who? I don't know. I don't. Neither does he. Richarlison dedicates goal to his great-grandmother. A reporter says this. Wow, that is really beautiful, because people don't really give the elderly the respect they deserve. What's she called? Tell the people. Tell the world. I can't remember. I've forgotten. Then he says this, which is amazing. Huh? I can't recall it. I don't know her name. It's emotion, isn't it? It's just too much emotion. But it's not about that right now. Now's time to celebrate. I'll tell you what, if I do remember, I'll let you know. Hey! Hey! Terrible. As I said earlier in the video, Frank Lampard is the new manager of Chelsea, and actually we did a whole video talking about Frank Lampard and if it was a brave or a dumb decision to have someone who hasn't got any experience as a Premier League manager managing in the top flight. Now you can go and check out that video to see how I felt about it and where I stood on it all, but one thing is for sure, that in the Bundesliga they aren't messing about. They seem very clear, as 8 of the 18 managers in the Bundesliga this season will be managing in the top flight for the first time. I think that highlights the openness of the Bundesliga again, and how that they look at the quality of performance, not just if you've succeeded or failed, which I think we're very, very guilty of. Also, 9 of the coaches in the Bundesliga this season are German. Just let that sink in for a second. As an England fan, I always believe that, say, the English managers should be English. I also think you want to have as many English coaches in there as well, because it just shows that English coaching and English coach development is thriving. And if that's thriving, that means there's lots of coaches. And if that's happening, that means that kids at grassroots level are getting better coaching, which creates better players, which gives me a bloody World Cup instead of losing in the semi-finals every single time. So with that in mind, and the progression that we've seen in the England national team, both the men and the women, let's not forget where it starts, with good coaching. And I hope that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, we start to see the same thing in the Premier League, where coaches who are getting a chance in the Championship, where there are a hell of a lot of English managers, they are then getting that chance in the Premier League, the top flight. I want to finish off on a high here, so just a quick bit of news that was on the Reddit soccer page, and it really is, it's heartwarming. It lets us know that this game it's a beautiful game. It just shows that different people can step together. The presidents of the 3 largest Bulgarian clubs had a meeting and announced that there will be no more fixed games and bought referees. No, good. No, that is... Look, we've all made mistakes. Well done. Yeah, lovely. So there you have it, that's the best of the back page of the internet. Reddit Soccer, episode 5. There are 4 other episodes, go and check them out. They're all decent, all lots of fun. If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed it and you want to see more, then hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's get to 20% on that bad boy. And I will see you very soon. And in the next video, I won't say bad boy. Sorry about that. What? Tried to end on a high there. Ruined it. Sorry.